Hi, I'm Steve, and for the last 10-11 years I've been in Bournemouth on a weekend evening night. There's sort of 40, 50, sometimes even as many as 60 or 70,000 people out and about in the bars and in the clubs. We've got about 30 or 40 bars, 10 decent nightclubs, 40 plus restaurants, more than that in kebab shops and takeaways, 5 strip clubs, a couple of casinos, and probably 20 or 30 brothels as well. And yet not one church is open. The church just isn't there. We wanted to show that the church is interested in them. We do have some good news for them. So we thought, wouldn't it be great just to open up St. Peter's, slap bang in the middle of all the action. The vicar was kind enough to let us use the space and fill it with candles, with prayer, with poetry, with visuals. Just offering space for people to come and relax, to think, to pray. We weren't sure how popular it was going to be, but we felt it was something God was asking us to do. And to our surprise, hundreds of people came through that night, enjoying the space we'd created there. People saying, if church was open like this every week, I would come along. It's as though we've no agenda other than creating a space where it's likely that God will encounter them and they will contemplate a God they maybe know or maybe don't yet. One of my favourite memories of all of the church for the nights, couple, I would say late 20s, came in. The guy cried for a while and she put her arm around him. They lit a candle and then they left. I have no idea what that was about, but that must have been a significant evening for them, where God was able to meet them. There have been a handful of people over the years we've been doing it who have found faith and who have become a part of our community. So when someone finds faith or wants to explore what it means to be a disciple of Jesus, having encountered him and us in a context like that, part of the night clubbing community, you can't just take them along to your Sunday morning Eucharist, because it's just a world away from what they've known, what they've encountered and where they've had that. It seems so out of context. So we need more contextually relevant ways of existing as church so that people who find faith in these contexts can then journey with us and explore it further. We begun to experiment with what it means to be church, to be followers of Jesus. We did DJ-led worship events and nights. We did creative prayer spaces by opening our home up and inviting people to share a meal with us. And there's lots of things that didn't work quite so well about that, but there's lots of stuff that worked great, and there's people who found faith and who are now following Jesus who just wouldn't have had we not have experimented in some of those ways. There's a lot we need to learn, there's a lot we could be doing better, but if all we do is what we've been doing for decades, if not centuries, the evidence is, the proof is, it's just not meeting people where they're at. But now I'm here in Winchester. Now I'm here in Winchester. I can't just do the same as we did in Bournemouth. That wouldn't make sense here. It's a completely different type of city. There isn't the nightlife, there isn't the same age demographics. It's a really different place. So what does it mean to pioneer here? There are loads of churches. There's some really good ones. There's probably some less good ones. But even if all of the churches in the whole country were as good and growing at the rate of the very best few, even then we would only reach 25% of the population. Experts say 75% will just never be reached if all we do is church the way we have been doing it. So what really excites me is to try and reimagine what that could look like. For me, I think it's all got to start with a lot of reading the landscape of this new place. So I need to get to know the area, I need to get to know the people, prayer walking, a lot of meeting people, and a lot of just hoping to sense where the Spirit is leading. I don't want to be seen as the pioneer. Steve, he'll do the pioneering for us. He's our token evangelist. He can go off and be our pioneer, and we can continue doing church the way we always have. Now sure, it's not about a new one-size-fits-all, it really is about a mixed economy, but the whole reason for pioneering is exploring territory, exploring land into which we shall all progress. I want to thank the church and the bishop for the opportunity to be here. I'm excited about partnering with people, those who are doing church in more traditional senses and those who are wanting to explore new forms as well. In Numbers 13 and 14, Caleb and Joshua and the 10 other spies were sent into the promised land. They weren't exploring new territory simply to occupy it themselves, but rather exploring new territory into which all of us would move.